I also want to say, like, you have really, like, the way that I've seen you, like, taking care of my dad and my mom has just been really, really beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I love them so much.
I know you do. Hello and welcome to the Pillow Talks podcast. We're your hosts, Vanessa
and Xander Marin.
I'm a sex therapist with over 20 years of experience.
And I'm just a regular dude. We share the ups and downs in our relationship while giving you step-by-step techniques for improving yours.
Make sure you subscribe for your weekly double date full of totally doable sex tips, practical relationship advice, hilarious and honest stories of what really goes on behind closed bedroom doors, and so much more. It's the sex education you wish you'd had. Okay. I'm a little nervous recording this episode.
Tell me more.
I kind of don't really want to be totally honest with you.
You got a case of the fuckets?
So we're doing a personal update in this week's episode. We've only done a couple of these really, like, over the years, but life has really been lifing lately, and we've been sharing about it on Instagram. If you're not following us, we're at Vanessa and Xander.
We've been sharing a bit.
We've been sharing a bit, but we haven't shared, like, the full story. And Instagram is always challenging because it's so
it's like short snippets.
Yeah, and
like people come and go.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I'll share something one day and then reference it like a few days later, and then we'll get a million DMs of like, what are you talking about? Wait, what's going on? I missed it. So it's hard to, it's disjointed. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. It's really disjointed and hard to share there. So I figured, like, let's just put it all together in a podcast episode and kind of have it all in one place. But now I'm like, why did we decide to do this? I don't want to do it.
We decided to do this because it's good for us to talk about what's going on. And I think that it's also good for other people to hear because people can relate. Like, people have stuff that is happening in their lives right now. Mm-hmm. People have things that will be happening in their lives. And I think that there's not a lot of good role models. I'm not trying to be like, we're perfect role models, but there's just not a lot of good examples out there of couples talking openly about how they handle the couple part of their relationship and their lives when all kinds of other shit is going on.
Yeah.
Because most of us just take our relationships for granted when shit hits the fan. And it's like, oh yeah, well that thing is just there. I can take my foot off the gas. I can put my foot on the brake. I can close the door on this for months at a time. And it's just going to be there, right? Like, my partner's going to understand without me ever saying anything about it because they can read my mind. No, they can't. I think it's important to be able to talk about this kind of stuff because, I mean, hope this isn't a spoiler, but, like, we have a lot of shit going on, and I think our relationship's in a really good place because we've been doing a really good job. I'm so proud of us.
I'm really proud of us too.
And we're keeping the fire going in a way that most people wouldn't. And in a way that we haven't in the past situations like this.
True.
And the only thing I can really credit to that is we're talking about it more. Mm-hmm. And so this is us just practicing what we preach.
Okay. Shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so first we have to, like, share the backstory of what is going on. Which is that my dad is dealing with a really, really serious health situation right now. My dad has stage 4 cancer.
And this all happened very quickly. There's backstory, but, like, the stage 4 element of it was kind of an overnight development.
Well, I'll share the backstory. So my dad was first diagnosed with cancer about a year and a half ago. Bladder cancer. It was a low grade. It was just within his bladder, and he had this treatment called BCG. It successfully treated the cancer. It was not like a pleasant journey, but overall, it was like I was actually just shocked by how straightforward it was. Like,
and it was one of those things where multiple people, doctors, and also like, you know, we shared about this on social media, on this podcast, and so many people being like, oh, this is like, as crazy as it sounds to say this, like, this is like the best cancer that you can get. This is like the best. If you're going to deal with this, is the best situation to have. Is caught early. There's really, really super effective treatments. Most people, you know, achieve full remission. It's a blip. It's a blip on the radar.
Yeah, so that was a year and a half ago. So then earlier this year, we didn't know it at the time, but found out later that he was having some symptoms. And it unfortunately took a while to get in to the doctor, and took a lot of like having to advocate for himself and my mom having to advocate for him to like actually get these symptoms like really checked out, which over going through this whole thing, there's also this thread of like how much the medical system fucking sucks and how much you have to advocate for yourself or have somebody to advocate for you. It's just been maddening. It just kills me like looking back now of like what could have happened if he got in sooner. Like there's just so many what ifs. Okay, so they ran a bunch of tests. He gets a message from his doctor at like 10 o'clock at night saying, we think that the cancer could be back. Go to the ER immediately. Or he didn't get it until the morning after.
He was sleeping. He received it at 10.
He received it at night, got it in the morning, and it was like, you know, his doctor saying, go to the ER immediately. So he woke up and it was like this really stressful, like, holy shit, I got to go into the ER. So they got him into the ER. They're running a bunch more tests. They end up deciding to do a procedure to like see if they can, you know, go in and figure out what's going on. So they have this procedure done. It was also impacting his kidneys. So they were wanted to like also put some stents into his kidneys, into the ureters, to help the kidneys function better. So they do this procedure. It's a little scary because it's like all happening so quickly. And his doctor tells us like, okay, we went in there, we found a mass, we biopsied it, we're going to test it. But I would be shocked if this is cancer. Like it does not look like cancer. It looks like in rare cases from the BCG treatment, it can irritate the walls of the bladder and like create these growths. So we're like, whew, okay. It's fine. It's not cancer. Like it was very definitive. The doctor was like, I would be shocked if this came back as cancer. So he goes through this procedure. You know, it's a procedure. It's still like difficult to recover from.
Yeah, he was in the hospital for like a day or two.
Yeah. So then a few days later, I get the call from the doctor. I'm so sorry. It actually is cancer. And the doctor said, you know, this is looking pretty aggressive. We think it's gone through the walls of the bladder. And that's like a big deal with bladder cancer. Like when the cancer is just within the bladder, it's a lot easier to treat. When it starts to go through the muscle walls of the bladder, that means it's more aggressive. It's more difficult to treat because now you're like getting into muscle and all that.
It's spreadable.
Yeah. So at that point, they start saying, okay, there's two treatment options. We can fully remove the bladder, which is a gnarly surgery, like months of recovery, really intense, like at least a week in the hospital.
You'll never pee again. Yeah,
he'd have to have a bag on the outside of his body for the rest of his life, or they can do the immunotherapy and chemotherapy route, which they were worried initially, like, you know, it might not work fast enough to like contain the growth of this cancer. So we're trying, you know, we're going back and forth. What's the best solution? What's the best thing to do? What do we do? And so in the meantime, he gets a PET scan, which is supposed to show you where the cancer is currently located. And I also have to give this caveat as I'm going through this that like I'm not a medical doctor.
Neither am I.
Yeah, neither of us are. We're giving our, you know, our retellings, but this is all like very confusing. And we don't know all the full details. So the PET scan comes back showing that the cancer is just located within the bladder. So we're like celebrating like, oh my God, this is so much better. We had thought, you know, the doctor thought, I think it's gone through the walls, which makes it more serious. But now we're getting confirmation. It's just within the bladder. It's not as serious. So we're like celebrating. This is so great. Such a relief. And so they decide, let's do the surgical route. Let's just get the whole thing out, take care of it once and for all. We're done with it. He can't come back if he, doesn't have a bladder anymore. So my dad gets on board emotionally with the idea of doing this really gnarly surgery of having a bag, outside of his body.
That was a whole process.
It was a whole process. But we're like, okay, this is the right solution. This is what we got to do. The surgery had to take place in LA. Fortunately, he got this connection to be seen at this incredible hospital in LA. But we live in Santa Barbara, 90 minutes away. So we had this whole setup of we rented an Airbnb. We had this whole schedule of who's coming down to support on different days.
Yeah, we need to be down there for 1 to 2 weeks. He's going to be in the hospital for a week. They recommended having a place for him to be there for the next week once he's discharged, because he's still going to be needing to see the doctors.
Yeah. So we start the surgery. I went down there with my brother and my cousin to be with my mom. We start the surgery. The four of us, leave the hospital. We're going to get breakfast. And the surgeons had told us okay, we're going to start the surgery. We'll give you a call in a couple of hours. We kind of take a midway break. And so my family and I were sitting, finishing breakfast up. We're actually in really good spirits. My dad had been in great spirits. And, just feeling okay, we're on the path, we're getting started. And so we're just finishing up and my mom's phone rings. And I think instantly all of us in that moment just knew it's only been 45 minutes. This is not good to be getting a call this soon. And so we rush out of the restaurant. We're just in the parking lot, some random parking lot. And the doctor says, hey, I started the surgery. I opened him up and I can see that the cancer has spread a lot. It's in his stomach. It's, all around his pelvic floor area. It's, in the, everywhere. And it's in his lymph nodes. And the lymph nodes are really bad because your lymph system goes throughout your entire body. And, it's very easy for the cancer to just spread everywhere once it gets into the lymph nodes. So he said, I can't continue with the surgery. We have to close him up and just stop here. I can't remove it doesn't make sense to do the surgery because I can't remove all the cancer surgically. Now his only option is to do immunotherapy. And if we were to do the surgery, he wouldn't be able to start immunotherapy.
Yeah,
so
that was
that was just crushing news. And so confusing. How did we get this? It's just been this back and forth. It's just in the bladder. No, it's outside the bladder. No, it's just in the bladder. No, it's everywhere. It just is such a fucking roller coaster. And yeah, so we, then have to talk to the doctor more. And he says, it's stage 4 cancer. It's very aggressive. It's spread a lot of different places. And, really the only hope for treatment is this immunotherapy, which works really well for about 30 to 40% of people. And I asked him okay, but what about the 60 to 70%? And he said, gave us a timeline, a life expectancy that I'm not going to repeat because I refuse to accept it. And I don't even want to put that energy out there, but I'll just say it was extremely short and just absolutely crushing to hear that. So then we had to then we had to wake my dad up. And he was so confused, because here he was thinking he was about, having an 8-hour surgery.
When I doubt he even had a conception of time. Yeah. You're waking up and you're thinking, oh, I'm coming out the other end. You're anesthetized. You have no idea how long it's been.
Yeah.
It's not like sleeping at night where you can tell, oh, I have not been asleep for very long. You're coming out of it assuming it's over.
Yeah, he was really confused and having to explain to him, you didn't actually have the surgery and it's actually way worse than we thought, was just horrific. Really, truly, truly horrific.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, I had serious surgery one time where I was fully under and my memory of those first couple hours coming out of it are pretty hazy because you're really drugged, and it's confusing. It's confusing enough when you have a successful surgery. It's just like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And trying to have serious things explained to you just seems so hard.
Yeah. So that was a real low. Just seeing him like in that state, just like so fragile and tender, and just having this like absolutely horrible prognosis was really, really hard. And then we just had to like go home, which was so like we just had this plan to be down in LA for so long, and then we like it honestly like it felt like the hospital was just like, okay, please get out of here now. And I was like, oh my God, like he's been cut open 8 times. Like, yeah, the surgery didn't, go through, but I don't know. It was really weird to just like go home after that. I bet you didn't know that a pillowcase could be the reason why your skin has blemishes and your hair is breaking. I had no idea either. And so I was really excited to find out about Blissy's silk pillowcases. They can help you have healthier skin and hair in weeks. I mean, think about it. We are spending so much time on our pillows with our hair, our faces on our pillows, and the fabric that they are made out of really matters. Silk has anti-aging properties. It reduces fine lines and wrinkles over time, eliminates frizz in your hair, can preserve your hairstyle, and protects color-treated hair.
And it feels great.
Yeah, it feels really nice, very cooling to sleep on. Blissy pillowcases are award-winning, dermatologist-recommended, featured on Oprah, Good Housekeeping, Allure, and so many more. And because you're a listener, Blissy is offering 60 nights risk-free plus an additional 30% off when you shop at blissy.com/pillowpod. That's BLISSY.com/pillowpod and use code pillowpod to get an additional 30% off. We are both obsessed with our Blissy pillowcases, and we know that your skin and hair will thank you. Xander and I and 30% of U.S. adults are teeth grinders at night.
Sad to admit it, but it's true.
And we both unfortunately found out about this from our dentist, who then had to explain to us all the dangers and consequences of teeth grinding.
All the damage that I had already done to myself.
Mm-hmm. So that's why we were really grateful to be able to tell you about Remy. Their custom night guards are clinically tested to prevent teeth grinding, reduce jaw tension and facial muscle strain, and improve sleep quality. But they cost 80% less and are so much more convenient than having to go to the dentist to get one. So they send you a kit straight to your door. You get these very easy instructions, send them right back, and they ship your custom fit night guard right to you. No waiting rooms, no overpriced bills, just a better way to protect your teeth while you sleep. Go to shopremy.com/pillow and use code PILLOW to get up to 50% off your night guard at checkout. That's 50% off at shopremi.com/pillow with code PILLOW. Thank you, Remy, for sponsoring this episode. So we got him back here. Then the plan became, we've got to start immunotherapy. And the surgeon was like, he needs to start it like immediately. Like every day counts. This is really crucial. And then the next part of the journey became getting the fucking immunotherapy scheduled, which in the end, he just had his first treatment yesterday. It took 3.5 weeks, which makes me so angry. So angry. And like some of it is, I understand, like, they had to run blood work, of course, but it was also like getting approval from his insurance. And it also took like my mom 2 solid weeks of calling the center that he's doing the therapy at like every single day, because there's only one person who does the scheduling, and oh, they're not there, and oh, you have to leave a message, but they never return your call. And it was honestly crazy, like really crazy making. We were all like truly on the verge of losing it by the time that they finally made the appointment.
Yeah. And it also took him a really long time to recover just from the aborted surgery. And so it was like, you know, he had some appointments there, but it was like, we got to get everything approved by the insurance. We also need to make sure that he's recovered from, you know, being cut open 8 times and being pumped full of a bunch of gas in preparation for surgery and all this stuff. And that was taking him a long time. We didn't know what, you know, we couldn't predict, when is he going to be feeling up for now chemotherapy and immunotherapy. It was like so hard to thread that needle, but I mean, all in all, that took him a long time. So it ended up being that he's getting it somewhat soon after he was able to. Maybe they could have started like a week ago.
Yeah,
they probably could have started.
The recovery was gnarly, you know, even though I think all of us had in our heads like, he didn't have the surgery, but it took him, like 2 solid weeks to recover. He was in so much pain. He was like exhausted, nauseous, couldn't eat, really weak. And he needed like round the clock care. And to like just go from him, you know, walking around being fine to all of a sudden like needing round the clock care was a really, really big shift. And my mom's a fucking beast. My mom is the strongest person I know. She is excellent in a crisis. She was born like she was made to be the person you want in your corner in a crisis. Like she is tough as nails. But this has also been really challenging for her because it's making her realize like she can't do it all either. Like my dad needed help, like physically help. Getting up and down, you know, out of bed, off the sofa. And my mom's 4'11", you know, and like she couldn't do it. So that was really scary. And just helping, like each of them are going through their own journey of him like, you know, doing the recovery and my mom trying her best to support him. And also like still life's going on. She has work that she's supposed to do. There's, you know, other stuff going on. It's just, you know, to get thrust into this situation where it's like, holy shit, like there's so much time and attention that it's really a full-time job. And not only like the physical care of him, but also keeping track of like a million different appointments, medications, supplements, different doctors,
changing
follow-ups, changing his diet. We also ended up reaching out to a woman that we know who specializes in more like holistic treatments to cancer. Because we just, you know, when I heard that prognosis, I was like, fuck this. Like, yes, we want to go the Western way and like do, you know, the best that science has to offer, but like we also need to find other treatments too.
Support the body the best way that you can.
So we got, you know, a lot of ideas from her, and we're still in the midst of like doing a bunch of testing and figuring out like a more integrative plan for him. But there's, you know, it's like a ton of different doctors that we're coordinating with. Different, you know, he needs to do sauna, he needs to do red light therapy, he needs to be eating fermented foods, he needs to go on walk, he needs to do meditations, like all this different stuff. So it's truly a full-time job. And, you know, we're so lucky in my family that we have, you know, my tough as nails mom. I have 2 siblings. We're all in town. You know, we, like my sister and I have partners who are here too. My cousin is super supportive. Like he has a army of people around to help support, but like still it's so much work. I think that takes us up to basically where we are now. He had his first treatment yesterday, which unfortunately like was pretty hard.
Unexpectedly challenging.
We'd heard from a lot of people like it's not so bad. He'll be tired, but you know, it's not too bad.
Yeah, this specific immunotherapy chemo combination. We're not. I know that in general, I think chemo is pretty rough, but this specific combination, and I don't even know that much about how they do it, but you know, it's basically a mix. He does like 1 week of a mix of immunotherapy drug and some amount of chemo. Then the next week he does 1 infusion of just chemo. Then he gets a week off, and it's just this 3-week cycle over and over for a long time. Yeah.
So he was in the middle of getting the chemo part of the infusion when he just started feeling like extreme pain. and they ended up stopping the treatment.
Yeah, I think like dropping blood pressure too.
Yeah, which apparently happens for like just a tiny percentage of people. So they had to stop the treatment and then have this like horrible decision of what do you do? Do you not finish the treatment so he doesn't have to be in pain, but then he's not getting this life-saving treatment? Or do you continue the treatment, but he's in pain?
Yeah, because the pain thing, like that pain, the pain as a side effect to this treatment, it's something like it's not that it's pain because the treatment is actually hurting you. It's that the treatment can cause any other pain that you had from any other thing. Like, he's, still probably internally somewhat recovering from the surgery that he had a couple of weeks before or whatever. Like, it can basically exacerbate any kind of like latent issues already inside of you. So it's like, yeah, in most situations, it's like, oh my God, this thing that you're doing to me is really hurting me. So you got to stop because the thing is bad. And it's not, in this case, it's not that. It's like, oh yeah, no, like the thing itself is actually really good. It's causing pain from something else that is temporary and will stop when this is over. But it's like, can we keep doing it?
Yeah. So he did end up deciding to finish out the treatment. It was really tough. But yeah, he was able to finish it. So now, and then it just brings up anxiety for next time of like, is it going to be the same pain or is it going to be okay? He's feeling better today. But it's just, yeah, it's a lot. So, I mean, overall, like, I'm really proud of him for how he's managing this. Like, this is so scary. It's so, so, so scary. But all things considered, like, he's been in pretty good spirits. He's really, like, committed to doing everything he can. He's really trying to take, like, as best of care of himself as he can. And he's got a lot of things going for him. He has so much support. He has a lot to live for. His first grandkid is on the way, just a few months. So yeah, I'm proud of him for just like riding the waves. He's been super emotional, but he's just like letting himself feel that and just moving the energy. I mean, that's all we can do.
He's gotten really into meditation.
Very into meditation, which I love.
Yeah, guided meditations, which he's just been.
Little Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
His buddy Joe. Yeah. So now ahead of him it'll be about 6 months of this treatment, and then they have to reassess and see, like, did it work? Is he one of that lucky, like, 30 to 40%? And if it doesn't work, maybe, hopefully this other alternative treatments that we're doing at the same time will help.
I mean, what we did find out later was, I think that the way that that surgeon had originally described things was maybe not entirely correct. I think what we've since found out is that the 30 to 40% number is 40% of people that do this immunotherapy chemo combination achieve full remission, which is incredible. Like that is an absolute miracle that like 3 to 4 out of 10 people can be totally cancer free from this treatment. And that many of the other people that are not in that 30 to 40% group see some kind of improvement, just not full remission. And so in this case, if there is an improvement to the extent, even if there's an improvement to the extent where then he could have a surgical procedure where like the cancer is isolated to certain areas that could be surgically removed, then that's still a great outcome because then you can essentially, the hope is that you can achieve full remission surgically.
Yeah.
And also, on top of that, what's challenging with so many of these, numbers out there, about like prognoses for various cancers and for various cancer drugs is that, you're looking at, thousands and thousands of people and you don't have any information on what else they are doing to support themselves emotionally and physically. So, like there's no way to know, are they following all the, the best research when it comes to like what their diet is in terms of all these other things that you can do to support yourself or not? And so, the hope is that, we can move the needle in the direction, you know, that we can try to, you know, kind of put our thumb on the scale a bit by doing everything we can that seems to also improve chances.
Yeah. And I just want to throw out there, like, for anybody who's, you know, if they're on a cancer journey or their loved one is, like, I do highly recommend looking into, like, alternative and holistic treatments too. Like, I mean, I love Western medicine. I love science. There's so many incredible things that we have been able to achieve. And, like, there's also so many other things that maybe we don't have the same amount of science or research behind it, but that are, like, equally effective and that really look at treating the whole body, not just, like, trying to kill cancer cells. Like, the woman that, you know, who we've spoken to, her whole thing is she's like, you know, cancer doesn't happen randomly. Like, it happens for a reason. And we have to understand what is going on in your unique system that allowed the cancer to develop in the first place and is letting the cancer continue to flourish. And there's this book that I was reading about, like, a more holistic approach to cancer. And I looked at the part, it was talking about bladder cancer in particular. And it talked about specific things that led to bladder cancer. And one of them is, there are specific chemicals that my dad was exposed to every single day in his line of work. And I don't know why, it just struck me. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I think in the Western perspective, we've come to think of cancer as just, like, kind of this, like, random thing.
Yeah, but we deal with it when it happens.
Yeah, but I'm like, no, literally, like, this exact chemical that my dad was exposed to every single day for 40 years, this chemical has been tied to this specific kind of cancer. Like,
yeah, it increases the chances of you getting it. And day after day after day, you're, you know, every day slowly increasing those chances.
Okay. So there's so much more to this, so much more to the story that I could share, but let's kind of talk a little bit more about how we're navigating it, like, personally, as a couple, all of that. So there are a couple of things for me personally, what I've been doing. The number one thing is truly just making the space for everything, like health issues, you know, and this is the first of, you know, any of our parents who's gotten sick. So that's the other scary thing too, is I'm like, oh my God, we're just starting this.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is one of 4. Yeah, but it brings up a lot of emotions. And for me, just the most important thing, like the biggest piece of advice that I could give to anyone else going through something similar is, like, allow yourself to feel all of the things, because they all make sense. And when we fight against our feelings or try to get ourselves not to feel them, those feelings get so much stronger. And when I just let myself feel everything, I'm moving through it. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, we're moving through it. We're on a fucking roller coaster, and I'm just letting myself be on the ride.
Well, I mean, and we talk about this unrelated to this topic. We talk about, you know, with feelings, that it gets so easy with feelings, whether it's things that are coming up in our relationship, about our sex life or whatever. We talk about how it's so easy to be like, oh, that's too much. I can't deal with it. I'm going to try to not feel that thing. Mm-hmm. But the research actually shows that when you truly allow yourself to actually let in an emotion, a feeling, actually feel it, that we tend to actually process it fairly quickly.
Actually.
What?
You just said actually like 4 times.
No, we indeed process it fairly quickly. I mean, the number, it's kind of crazy. Was it like within 2 minutes, 90 seconds or something like that? Now, in this case, you have a lot of similar but slightly different emotions. It's not like, oh, I just let myself feel really intensely for 90 seconds and then it's done. It's a whole lot. It's a whole cascade of things. But I think, that just gets back to that, where it's like, trying to be like, oh, I can't deal with this right now. I got to be strong for my family, or I got to be strong for my dad, or I'll deal with that later. I think that is what ends up at, kind of like raising the temperature kind of, I'm thinking of like a kettle or like a pressure cooker. It's literally, you're like closing the pressure cooker and the temperature's going up and it's starting to scream. And pressure builds, eventually it's going to release.
Yeah.
So it's better to just try to be releasing that pressure all the time. That's just going, staying on the roller coaster.
Yeah. I've also just been really doubling down on my self-care. For me, like the number one thing has been exercise. I'm really, really grateful that I have an exercise routine. It's such a big part of like my physical and mental well-being. And it's really tempting in times of crisis to like abandon all of that stuff and like, oh, I feel like there's, better ways that I could be spending my time, or like I just don't feel like doing it. But I am making myself stick to my routine, and I'm so glad for that. Like exercise truly keeps me sane. I need to be doing it. So just making sure I do it. I've been sleeping more. I've been sleeping like I'm an 8 hours gal. I've been sleeping like 9 hours a night, and I'm just like, okay, my body just needs more sleep. That's okay. Meditation and visualization and just like journaling too, just writing, letting myself write down like thoughts and feelings, what I'm going through, like all those things. It's the stuff that everybody knows. They're obvious, but a lot of us like don't actually do them. But I'm just really like pushing myself to do those things and to remind myself like I need to take care of myself in this situation too. It doesn't help to, be a total self-sacrificer or a martyr or anything like that. Like I got to make sure my cup stays full so that I can truly be there for my dad.
Yes, I know a lot of people might think, oh my God, all that stuff just takes so much time. It's literally taking time away from time that I could be spending like with my loved one who might have limited time, right? And I can see how tempting it is to be like, oh no, I'm not going to do any of this stuff because I need to devote 100% of my time to this person. But I mean, my question to you is like, what good is it spending all your time with someone, because your time is limited, if you're going to be miserable?
Yeah.
That whole time. I mean, like the person that you're trying to show up for can feel that.
Yeah.
You can feel that. And it's like, would you rather spend a bit less time, but have that, but have you be as happy as possible, right? Like that's your dad. Your dad doesn't want a bunch of, downers hanging out with him, right? Like he wants, like whether his time is limited or not, he wants, what's going to be most valuable to him is like fun and laughter.
Yeah.
And joy. And if we don't show up for ourselves, like you can't have that stuff. Yeah, sure, you could fake it, but everyone can tell when you're faking that shit.
Yeah. I've also been really intentional about asking for help. Like with our community, on Instagram, I've been, putting up question boxes regularly, like, hey, if you've been through this, give me your tips. When we were first like, we need to like look into a more alternative treatments, I put a question box up around that and got 1 million responses. So that has been super helpful. Just realizing like it's a sign of strength to ask for help. And we've just been really lucky to have so many people like willing to offer resources and support too. I don't know about you guys, but lately it feels like my entire social feed is filled with different health trends, like cottage cheese is an entire nutrition plan, or you should be slamming olive oil shots first thing in the morning. I say we give the algorithm a rest. It can all be very confusing to keep up with, so I say let's turn to the real life professionals with ZocDoc. If you haven't heard of it before, ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click instantly to book an appointment. I think we all know finding a doctor can be really stressful. Fortunately, we have not been in the situation where we've needed any medical care recently, but as soon as we do, we are going to turn to ZocDoc next. They just make it so simple to find exactly who you need, book an appointment instantly, none of the headaches or frustrations that usually come along with medical care. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/pillow to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/pillow. ZocDoc.com/pillow. Okay, my absolute favorite thing when it comes to our ad sponsors is when we get a company that I have personally spent my own money on their products, and then later they reach out to become podcast sponsors. And that is exactly what happened with Skims. A few years ago, I was like, I have to see what the fuss is about their lingerie. I bought a whole bunch of stuff with my own money, and I was absolutely obsessed with it. So it makes it feel so easy to recommend it to other people. And in particular, what I want to call out today is their Fits Everybody collection. It is made from some of the softest, most breathable, just like melts into your own skin fabric. It seriously feels like you are wearing nothing at all. Trust me, you have not tried bras and underwear like this before. The fabric is so next level. It's so comfortable. Shop the Skims Fits Everybody collection at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey, and be sure to select Pillow Talks in the drop-down menu that follows. We have both slowed down a lot with work, and we're really lucky that we have an awesome team that like gets it, and they can run stuff, on their own with minimal involvement from us. We've worked really hard to build a business like that and create a team who's, self-sufficient and awesome. But yeah, like my desire to work is definitely not super there. Like I still love my work, and but yeah, it's hard to show up with a ton of energy when we've got so much going on. So I've just given myself that permission and just tried to be really honest with people, like on Instagram too, of like, look, I'm not going to fake it. Like, I'm not going to come on Instagram and be like, hey guys, here's our fun tip for today. It's just like,
there's too much of that on social media anyway. We don't need to play.
I couldn't do that anyways.
We don't need to play into that.
But just showing up, vulnerably and authentically, and being honest about where we're at, and just allowing ourselves to like, this is not going to be like a blockbuster year for us. There are some projects that we're just pushing off or letting go of, and like, that's okay. It's okay. I will say though, at the same time, like, it is also hard because we can't like totally step away either. Like we got really bad news in the middle of one of our like launches. We had a course open it was our course about how to talk to your kids about sex. We'd been working on this course for like a year, planning this like big launch. It was supposed to feel like a party, all these like fun things going on around it. And whenever we have like a course like that, like we want people to feel excited joining it. Like, you're joining this movement. We're all doing this together. And so we got this horrible news, in the middle. I think it was like the day
couple days before the last day.
Day. And I was wrestling with myself, like, I don't have the energy to show up on Instagram and like, hey, join the course. It's going to be so great. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't not say anything, because if we don't show up on Instagram, people aren't going to buy it. And like people need the course. You guys are last minute buyers too. We know that about you guys. Like you
More
wait
so
until the last minute.
I mean, that's common in this world. We have a lot of other friends that run businesses similar to ours, but I got to say, when you look at the numbers, our business is the most extreme. We have the most extreme last minute buyers of anybody I've ever seen in this online course space.
So yeah, I mean, that was challenging. And I was like, it's because it's not just you and me. We have a team of people who rely on us for their livelihoods. Their families rely on us. So it's like, we can't just disappear. We can't just decide to stop working entirely. Like, people are relying on us. So I'm proud of how I ended up handling that. Like, I did a story on Instagram where I was really raw and just said, here's the situation that we're in. It's a classic and situation. Like, we have this amazing course. We're so excited about it. We want you to be excited about it. And we have this horrible life situation going on, and we can't show up with the same sort of energy that we really wanted to. So I was just really brutally honest. And
you were like, usually I would be doing a million stories all day, answering all your questions.
Yeah.
And just can't do that today. But like all the, you know, all the questions, everything is written out on the on the website, on the page, and
Please just
so
go check
we're just
it
gonna
out.
have to ask you to go there.
Yeah.
And trust us, it's great. Read it.
Yeah.
All the, you know, everything we'd say is all written down there.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I just showed up like in that authenticity, and it just, it feels like all I can do. It's just, I don't want to fake anything. I don't want to lie. I just want to be real about what's going on.
Always a good, that's always a good, good idea. Pretty much every
Yeah.
aspect of life.
And then also just like going slow in general has been really helpful for me. I've had a lot of, like yesterday when we found out that my dad was like in a lot of pain and struggling with the treatment, like I just went outside on our patio and I just lied down on the stone and just laid there. I was like, I just have to do nothing. Like I just need to lie there. I just need to breathe. That's all I'm capable of doing sometimes. And that's okay. Just being. And then I will also say, this is so hard and I don't even know how to like fully describe it, but I've just been working on trying to be in acceptance of what's going on. And I've realized, like, this is going to sound so stupid and obvious, but like, I'm going to lose my dad. You know, whether it's from this or something else. Like, I'm going to lose my dad. You're going to lose your dad. I'm going to lose my mom. Like, we're going to lose everybody. That's just, death is a part of life. And I've always known that, obviously. But I think there's a way that I'm just fully coming into, like, to terms with that. Like, I'm gonna lose him. I don't want to, obviously, but like, I'm going to. And, you know, you hear people say it all the time, like, we're not promised any time. You know, like, we could walk out this door and, you know, get hit by a car. There could be a huge earthquake that hits right this very second. Like, any of us could die in any moment. Like, we're not promised any time. And I think just having to recognize that, like, it's very easy to see a situation like this. Actually, a good friend of ours, like, helped me change my mindset about this too. He was going through losing his dad, and he said, like, at first he was really angry because he felt like my dad's being like stolen from me, like the time is being stolen. And he said he had to shift to recognize, like, no, like, I was never guaranteed any time with my dad. The time that I've already had is a gift, and like each additional day that I have with him is a gift. And that just like really struck me. And I've really been trying to look at life that way. Of like, yeah, nothing is owed to us, nothing is promised to us. So it's not that it's being stolen, it's that just every day is a gift.
Yeah, it's like you can focus on what could be getting taken away in the future. But of course, like you said, that's like, it's a false premise that something is being taken away.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually know. There's no guarantee. You could get taken away tomorrow. He could get taken away tomorrow from something totally unrelated to cancer. And so the best that we can do is just today, or even this present moment I mean, God, I feel so great. I feel so grateful in times like these for my, you know, the journey that I've been on with sobriety, and, you know, kind of like what I do to what I did to get sober and to stay sober is, you know, a big part of that is acceptance. Acceptance is like a huge spiritual concept. For most, you talk to most people who are sober, have been sober long term, and they'll talk to you about acceptance and accepting things for how they are, living life on life's terms, and taking it one day at a time. Because when we feel like we're trying to control or plan out all these things way in the future, like we can just get lost in that, lost in the planning of it, or lost in the resentment of like what could be or what can't be or what's going to get taken away. And we totally lose sight of where we are right now. And, the life we live is, the moment, the present moment. It's not the future. It's not the past.
Ooh, okay, so let's talk about like how we've been managing it as a couple.
How the heck are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier. Like, I'm really proud of us for the ways that we are navigating this together, and like we've really felt like a team in this. And I think part of that is, you and I put so much effort into like on a daily basis trying to stay connected with you. And I won't even say so much effort. Like, I think we're really big on like the bare minimum. Like, what's the bare minimum that our relationship needs to like for us to feel connected, and making sure we're doing that and not letting like, not slipping into ruts, not letting like days or weeks pass by without even like the littlest bit of attention. So we really like, we tend to our relationship. We water it every day. And I think that set us up to, go into this situation, like feeling like a team and feeling strong. And I just feel so strongly that like we have to continue prioritizing our relationship even when times are tough. Like you were saying, it's very easy to think like more important things are going on right now. Like, fuck us. We need to just focus on like,
the relationship will be there when I get back later.
Yeah. But I strongly believe that like, even in the tough times, like, you and I are not going on like, romantic date nights every week or anything like that. But if we can just keep doing like the minimum effort with each other, like we're going to continue staying strong, continue feeling like a team. And like, that's really the whole point of being in a relationship, to have a teammate to go through life with.
Yeah, it's why we get into relationships. I can't think of much other reason. We want to have a companion and we want to have support. Right? And so that's an ongoing investment that you have to make, to be both giving that support that is kind of part of the promise you make of being in a relationship, and to receive that support. Yeah.
So, just continuing to like focus on our relationship has been really important. I think one of the best things that we're doing is just expressing a lot of gratitude for each other. Like really, it's something that we pay attention to a lot otherwise, but really doubling down on like, thank you, I see you, I appreciate you, like that really helped, that made an impact, all that kind of stuff has been really, really impactful. And even just reminding ourselves like, we're a team, we're in this together, I've got you, we've got this. Just that language is really important. I also want to say like, you have really like, the way that I've seen you like taking care of my dad and my mom has just been really, really beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I love them so much.
I know you do. And it just made me so appreciative of you. Like you've been so tender with them, and like there's so many things that you've done for them. Like I won't even like try to list all of the things, like little and big, just so many ways that you're showing up, and things that you've thought of that nobody else thought of. Like you've had single-handedly had a huge impact like on my dad's recovery. But just, the ways that you're treating them with so much tenderness and love. And I think especially with my dad, like and my dad's not a macho alpha male type of guy. My dad's a big, sensitive sweetie. But I think men have a hard time like accepting help, and I imagine that a lot of what my dad's going through like feels very emasculating for him. And I just think that there's a way that I see you showing up for him that you're like allowing him to have his dignity and like still be a man, which I think not in a healthy way, a healthy masculinity. But yeah, I just think that it's just such a gift that you're giving him that I couldn't give him, because I'm not a man. But it's just been really really sweet and beautiful to watch. And
thank you.
I appreciate you for that. And it makes me love you.
I love showing up.
Yeah, you do. And you have been really showing up.
I mean, it's important to have purpose in your life, and being of service to family and friends is one of the best, easiest ways to fulfill that need.
Man, I don't know why I bothered doing my makeup today. I haven't put on makeup in like a week. It looked really good today.
Yeah,
too.
come over to YouTube if you want to see Vanessa shedding her makeup.
Do I have mascara?
No,
all over the
you
place?
actually don't.
Okay.
You don't, though. I wouldn't be surprised if, as soon as you look in the mirror,
you
see something that I don't see, because that seems to happen constantly here. But it's really just proof that I'm not like picking your face and body apart every time I look at you.
Okay, I will say, just to keep it real though, too. I mean, not that we haven't been real, but it is also like we have had some normal couple fights over the last week too, and those are so weird. We had a fight yesterday about Xander finishing the last bite of something. And it's so funny because it's like, on the one hand, we're like in the middle of the fight, and it wasn't like a fight. It was like a disagreement, a very mild disagreement. But on the one hand, I'm like in the middle of it, and I'm like, my dad has cancer. What are we doing arguing about a muffin right now? But on the other hand, I'm like, but I wanted that last bite of the muffin. It's just such a funny place to be in, of like, this is the tiniest nothing thing in the grand scheme of everything that's going on, but also like this is a thing, and it's just funny, like trying to find the space for like normal couple stuff like that. So I just had to throw that out there. Here's the sad truth. Most of us spend more time picking a Netflix show than we do being actually present in our relationship.
And yet, research actually shows that your relationship is a bigger predictor of your happiness more than your career or money. But there's never been a clear roadmap to deeper connection and lasting intimacy. Until now.
That's why we built Deeper, our membership for couples who want to feel closer, more connected, and more passionate. If your relationship is in a good place, you'll love the quick wins, like brand new date night ideas every month, fun conversation prompts, and even Vanessa AI, your on-demand coach that you can ask anything, anytime.
And if you hit a tougher season, which is totally normal, then Deeper has you covered with our full library of courses and guides so that you can deep dive into exactly what you need most right now. Think communication, connection, desire, pleasure, or exploration. We've got you. It's like having a relationship wellness plan that actually fits into your real life.
It's the membership that we always wished existed for ourselves. Something in between expensive therapy and trying to just figure it all out on your own. So whether you just want fresh ideas to keep things exciting, or you need more structured tools to get back on track, Deeper meets you where you are. Because your relationship deserves at least as much care as your Netflix queue.
Curious what your deeper journey might look like? Start with the Intimacy Quiz, your key to love that lasts. This quick quiz helps you uncover what your relationship needs most right now. And you might be surprised because most couples get this one wrong. You'll walk away with a personalized roadmap, straight to the point, actionable, and designed to help you reconnect with your partner ASAP. So head on over to vmtherapy.com/5keys. That's the number 5 and then the word keys. Again, it's vmtherapy.com/5keys. And don't worry, we'll also link it in the show notes for you.
Well, let's wrap things up and let's talk about sex.
Yeah. How the fuck are we fucking?
Okay, Okay, so definitely one of the weirdest thing. How the fuck are we fucking? Definitely one of the weirdest things about this whole journey is that our sex life has been very regular.
Yeah.
Did I say that weird? Regular.
Yeah, regular.
Regular. We've had a very regular sex life, and I'm like, huh? How's this happening? But a couple of things. So first of all, I want to say it's totally normal for you to experience, for anybody, I'm not talking to you, it's totally normal to experience changes to your libido in times of stress and grief. Very normal for your libido to like totally disintegrate and disappear. And it's also normal to like still have a libido or to even feel like a higher libido than normal. For me personally, there have definitely been days where I'm like my libido is lower for sure. There have definitely been days where I'm like, I am not feeling it. But what I've been doing is like, you and I believe really strongly in the importance of sex. You know, we talk
Regular
so much
sex,
about that. It's not just a physical act. It's not just getting off, but like sex is really important to the health of a relationship, and sex creates intimacy. It creates closeness. It's vulnerability. It's, you know, it's all the things.
Good. We should caveat that.
Yeah.
Good sex. Good for both
sex.
People.
Yeah.
Regular good sex is very important because I think that is the differentiating factor for a lot of people that don't feel comfortable with the idea of just doing it all the time, is that probably you feel uncomfortable with that because it's not very good for one of you.
Yeah, so good sex is important and good. And yeah, for me, it's like, so there have been times, like yesterday, we had sex yesterday, and we had talked about having sex earlier in the day, and I was super into it earlier in the day. I was like, yes, let's make this happen.
You said something about wanting
I did.
to look at him.
I initiated earlier in the day.
You made a very me type of joke.
I did.
Which I loved.
And then we got the news about, you know, that my dad's first treatment had been really hard. And like the way that there was so much more to the story that I didn't tell too. It was like it was a tough, like the way we found out about it was really tough. And I was just not feeling it whatsoever. But I just decided, like, I was like, you know what? I want to do it anyway. Like, it's so weird. I think I'm struggling a little bit with how to describe it. It's like, I don't want to do it. I didn't feel horny. I didn't feel turned on. The idea of having sex was not exciting to me.
I think you got there though.
But I wanted to do it. I was like, you know what? No, I want to do it. And it's because sex is always good between us. We both make sure that, you know, both of us have a good time. And it's because our relationship is in a good place. And, you know, there's safety between the two of us. There's a lot of care and intimacy between the two of us. So like those things have to be in place. But yeah, I think sex is helping us feel connected. It's, you know, creating more intimacy between the two of us. It can feel sometimes like a little escapist in a nice way. Like, let's just focus on let's just feel pleasure right now. Just like be in our bodies. And yeah, the release of an orgasm is like great stress relief, great for your mental health, great for helping me sleep, all the things. But yeah, I'm choosing to have sex for different reasons in this season of life. And I'm feeling really grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting experience for me too, because I've learned about myself. I want to feel a baseline level of connection before I feel open to sex, but I also have a bit more of a spontaneous sex drive. And so that can feel tricky in times of high stress or things like this going on, because when it can feel like in the past, when I've been, you know, really stressed, I can tell that Vanessa is really stressed. It feels like maybe some of that baseline emotional connection required for sex is missing. And so then I will, you know, in the past, in moments like this, I've pretty much not had much of a sex drive. And you know, the other reality with me right now, I've been on a hormone replacement journey over really since the start of this year, and as of very recently, I've gotten my levels like really, really dialed in, and I am not having that experience I'm not having that experience this
He's
time
horny,
around
y'all.
where where like it's like the hormones are starting to win out is the best that I can describe it as. And so that's been a really interesting experience for me, because in the past I've not really had that experience of sort of feeling like, oh, I have a lot going on and I'm still feeling this drive. In the past I've been more, I guess just reactive to other stuff happening in life. And so, it's just been different for me to navigate too, because I can see that, you are not as naturally spontaneous, or your drive isn't there as naturally as it sometimes can be, and totally understandably. And it's also like, I recognize like it's your dad too. It's not my dad. I love your dad. And it's also just, it's a different experience. And so, it's tricky. I think the thing though, is that we keep talking about that, even just talking about that. I'm like, hey, I'm having a different experience than I've ever had with my sex drive. Yeah. And it's fun. And it's also can be a little scary, because it's like, oh, I'm worried that maybe you don't really want it very much. And how do we manage that? And then, so I think it's just because we keep having those conversations, we're creating the openness around it, which feels really, really good to me. I've been really proud. I mean, I've been really happy with how we've managed to maintain a regular sex life. And I think that has helped us maintain a regular connection. We maintain a regular connection so we can have a regular sex life, and we want to have a regular sex life so we can maintain a regular connection. Both of those things impact the other. And it's like, once you get both going, you got to be doing both to keep both happening.
Some things that have been helping for me are I'm lowering expectations of sex itself. Like, I'm like, you know what? This is probably not going to be the season where we have the most earth-shattering sex, and that's okay. But ironically, I feel like we've actually been having like some crazy good sex.
We discovered a couple new moves over the last couple of months before this happened, and those have been those. I don't know. Maybe you're teasing that we maybe have to do an episode on like new moves, new tricks.
Vanessa and Xander's new moves. No, but like it is funny how when you take the pressure and expectation off, sometimes you surprise yourself. But I'm like, it's okay if this is not like the most earth-shattering sex. I've also allowed myself to be clear with, like, I've been very clear with you sometimes of like, hey, I'm willing to do this with you, but like, you're going to have to take the lead or, do most of the work. Or like, hey, I'm open for a quickie, but I don't have it in me to have like a long drawn out sex session. And so that's really helped too. Just like, allowing myself to like, it's okay to take a little bit of a step back and to not be like as participatory as I normally am. And there have been times where I've asked you to like change the vibe too. Like, hey, I just need something that's like really tender or really sweet. Or like, stuff like that. And, just making specific requests of like the kind of energy that I'm open to or needing in particular moments. And
that's totally fair.
Has helped.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And also just like, I think part of what's making me feel more comfortable with having a lot of like regular sex in this season is, I don't know how to describe it. This is going to sound weird too. But like, I think it's kind of similar to my approach towards joy in general, is like, I think it's really hard when a loved one is going through something. Like, you can feel guilty about feeling joy. You're like, oh, like it's so hard. It's so scary. Like, I feel bad feeling that way.
I mean, you can even feel, that's why people feel like sympathy pain.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't even allow myself to feel anything but the same thing that this person is feeling.
But what I've been realizing is, number one, my dad doesn't want me to be miserable. Like, if my dad heard me say, like, I'm actively preventing myself from experiencing happiness or joy, he would be so sad. And number two, like me feeling joy and happiness, that benefits my dad. I'm such a firm believer in the power of energy, in like the more happiness, positivity, and joy that is around my dad, like the more he feels that and takes that on. And even like laughter, I truly think laughter is the best medicine. Like laughter is healing him. And I think that's something my family has historically done really well, is we're really good at laughing and like finding the humor even in the toughest of times. And so for me, in a funny sort of way, like sex fits into that too. It's like, not that
you don't need to announce that to them. Hey guys, I'm in a great mood because I just had a ton of sex.
Just got railed right now.
Well, I mean, hopefully your dad's not listening to this episode.
But I kind of group it in the same way of like, it doesn't help my dad for me to not experience joy, pleasure, intimacy, connection. You know, he wouldn't want that for me. So, and again, it sounds funny when you're talking about your sex life and like, well, my dad would want me to have a great sex life. But it just fits into the same sort of vibe for me of like, nobody benefits from me being miserable or denying myself good experiences or cutting myself off, you know? So I think that kind of, makes it feel, gives me the permission, I guess. Oh, okay.
Wow, how we doing?
We did it. It's like I'm like, I want to stop. I'm done. I'm like, I've expended all the energy I had for this, and at the same time I'm like, we like barely scratched the surface. There's so much more.
I think we did a pretty good job. And we're like at or above normal podcast minutes recorded right now.
Yeah. So
thanks for listening to our TED Talk, people.
That's our life update. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, we just have to be honest and authentic about what we're going through. And I think it's important to share this story. And I hope that there's been something useful, you know, to gain out of this episode. And whether it's like, you know, our approach to our relationship, how we're dealing with this individually, health issue, you know, whatever it is. I hope there's been some sort of value here, whether now or maybe at some point in the future when you're going through, you know, something like this. But yeah, just wanted to open up our hearts and let you in, share what's really going on in our world.
Yeah, well, gosh, with that, that's all.
That's
all we got for this episode of Pillow Talks. Thank you so much for listening and just hearing what's going on for us. Like Vanessa said, hopefully it's valuable. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you've been through something similar, if you have any pro tips or, you know, mindset shifts that got you through it.
Oh, and you know what I should share? On Instagram, a lot of people have been asking to send my dad letters or care packages, and he has really been enjoying that. We actually got to go check our P.O. box for the next batch. But if you feel so inclined, obviously no pressure whatsoever, but I figured I'd just share this here since a lot of people have been asking for it on Instagram. But if you want to send him a little something in the mail, you can send it to us. And our mailing address is 1470 East Valley Road, Suite H, number 5023. in Santa Barbara, California, 93108.
Awesome. So. Yeah. And if you have anything you want to say, anything that you related to, or any, you know, mindset shifts that you've been through because you've been through a journey like this, leave us a comment on Spotify.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Just
check the comments there.
If you're listening on Spotify, great. Leave a comment, or if you're listening on somewhere else, come over to Spotify and just search Pillow Talks and, leave a little comment, because we love hearing from you.
Yeah, so, and we'll take any advice, tips, anything.
We're open to anything, guys.
Yeah.
All right, well, join us again next week. We release new episodes every Thursday, and next week's won't be quite this emotional.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Maybe it will. No promises. No promises. I'm living for today. But all right, we'll see. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.